What's up guys, my name is Soapsy and welcome back to another FIFA 21 squad. Today we are doing Denmark, so let's get straight into the team. So as you can see guys, on the screen we have the team. It's an 80 rated 100 chemistry team, and of course you can change this team up a little bit. There's a couple of different in-form variants, and of course if you have the money to buy the icons, you can obviously factor those into the team and that will change it quite substantially. But for standard gold players, this is what we've gone. Obviously it's a full gold team. In goal we have Kasper Schmeichel. At right back we have got Mihail, who does have an in-form variant. At centre back we've got Simon Kjær and Christensen. Left back is Skov, and then in CDM is Højbjerg. The other centre mid role we've got Falk, and on the left hand side we have Delaney. In cam we have Eriksen, and then up top we have Poulsen and Braithwaite. On the bench I've given you a couple of other options. There's Daniel Vass, who you might remember was a central midfielder, so you can always start him at right back, move him into centre mid, and then obviously bring on Mihail potentially to play right back and sub off one of the other central midfielders. Christensen, another option in there with slightly more pace. Anderson as a winger. You've got Kadri with a bit more pace up top. Zickernagel, and then obviously Schmeichel and Laudrup are the two icon choices that you've got there. This was the team that I came up with the 4-1-2-1-2. Basically, the main reason for going with this is that they didn't have the wingers that were all gold, and I thought this was still a solid formation that factors in all of the players. Of course, Eriksen is going to cost you a little bit of coins, so I've just used his loan for this one, but obviously you can go and buy him, he's not too expensive. In terms of chem styles, I would say that the two strikers definitely need chem styles on them. You're going to need a hunter on Braithwaite or Poulsen because they both got 80 pace, so you don't really have anything to get in behind with otherwise. In midfield, mostly what I would do in the game was I would take Højbjerg off because he was somewhat poor, and then I would sometimes sub on Vass and move Delaney into the CDM role, and then have Vass as one of the wide central midfielders. Falk, in my opinion, is probably the most important player in this team as he offers you that pace to sort of get down the flank. Same with Mihail, so that right hand side is quite solid. Left hand side was not bad though. Skov's not slow, but he's a little bit not as quick as Mihail over here. If you were to go with inform variants, you could of course put Delaney at centre back to cover for Christensen or Kjær if you want a bit more pace back there. You could also play Mihail's in form if you convert it to a right back rather than a right wing back at centre back, and then you'd have a 93 pace centre back to use. But obviously, just as a standard goal team, it's not too bad to run it in this formation. Let's go straight into the highlights, and you guys can see how the team performed. So as usual guys, I played 3 games of this team. They were all in the managerial masterpiece mode, which is manageable if you change up the bench for this team. We managed to get our first game was a 1-0 win. The guy backed out shortly after that, just mid-gameplay. Then the second game was a 2-0 rage quit as well, and then the final game we managed to win 4-1, and the person backed out on that one as well. So 3 games, 3 rage quits. This team was quite good. Overall, I would say it could compete in rivals. It's definitely the sort of team, being all gold, obviously, that you can compete with. You would need to be quite a good player, though, to be taking it up against the better teams. Chem styles wise, I would say that you're going to need to apply chem styles across the park, really, to make this team properly usable if you were considering having this as a main team for yourself. Poulsen and Braithwaite both only have about 80 and 81 pace, so you would need hunters on those guys to get them in behind to fit the meta of this game. Obviously, you could invest in Laudrup, and that would help you out massively. He could play in cam, you could play a 4-2-2-2 then instead. Overall, this team wasn't too bad though. It's definitely not the best team going, as there's not a lot of pace across the field. Falk, in my opinion, was the most important player, as he just added that dynamic pace. You sort of pass it around between your slow centre mids and you get it to him and he just drives, and that creates the space to get the players in behind or get them in the attacking positions. The only real letdown with him was his low shooting, but to be honest I didn't really feel that. It didn't get him in too many shooting positions. He was always passing the ball off to someone else to finish. 2 strikers though, when they did get chances, were clinical. Braithwaite and Poulsen were both very good. The defence I thought was solid, a little bit lacking pace in terms of the super meta fast centre-backs, but overall the full-backs were good and the 2 centre-backs in the middle were not particularly slow, so it was good, and Schmeichel obviously made a couple of key saves as well. Overall, this team's going to cost you around 20,000 coins. That's with Eriksen factored in, not as a loan, of course. If you did want to go out and pick up some informs and icons, it's going to cost you a couple of 100k as well. But basically, this Denmark team overall, for a reasonably expensive gold team that's not amazing, is not bad, but it's not right upper echelon. But obviously, that's what you're going to get when you're playing with these smaller nation sides. Obviously, if you like the team, guys, if you're a fan of Denmark, if you're from Denmark, if you want to go try out the team, then obviously I strongly encourage you to do so. It's definitely a more usable team than some of the smaller nations, and pretty much I didn't find that it was too disadvantaged to play with this team up against some better teams in the managerial masterpiece mode anyway. So overall, not a bad side, but definitely not sort of the upper echelon teams. That's the end of the video, guys. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you want to subscribe to me, you can. Make sure to check me out on all the socials below. My name's Soapsy, and I'll see you guys later.